Hello, hello, hello. It's Keita Williams, founder and chief strategist of Success Bully. Success Bully is an elite accountability practice, so that makes me your personal professional butt kicker. I am just so excited to be here. I'm so excited for. Am I the only person that gets really jazzy pants about Monday? Well, like I love Mondays because it's a fresh start. It doesn't matter what happened last week. You get a fresh start this week, right? And you can take all your key learnings from last week and apply them to this week. You can turn up the heat. You can coast right along, but it's your decision. It's a fresh start. It's a fresh start. And as we are kind of in the home stretch of the year where we're getting closer and closer to what is I think it's a 103 days left in the year, we're getting closer and closer to the end of the year, and I think it's so important to give yourself that grace and space to take these fresh starts, to move with momentum, and to really make this your best year yet. It's not too late to make it your best year yet. Okay, I'm just dribbling on. So again, I'm Keita Williams, founder and chief strategist of Success Bully. Way too excited to be here. The last couple weeks we've been talking about a mindset shift around time management. That we don't really like that term here at Successfully. We prefer to think about ruling your time because management implies it has a choice. And when you're ruling your time, you are taking ownership and accountability for it. It is your non-renewable resource. And while we all have the same 24 hours in a day, it's up to us to kind of guide those hours so that we are making the most of our days, but also that we are making that impact, right? And that we are working towards the goals that we set out for ourselves, and that really requires us to take an account of our time. And so welcome. If you haven't seen one of our live streams before, I won't bore you for a long time. It's going to be a short in and out. I just have some quick tips I want to share with you. And then, of course, we invite you to come and join us. If you are watching from the Corporate Escape Route community, hello. If you're watching from one of our other platforms, you are more than welcome to join our community. It's called the Corporate Escape Route, and it lives on Facebook. So we'd love to see you there. As a coach, I specialize in helping service-based entrepreneurs, whether they're coaches or consultants, with scaling their businesses. So I like to help my clients get 20 new clients in 30 days or in a year or less. 20 new clients in a year or less. What am I even talking about? So we're excited about that, and that big mission has been kind of our North Star this year, and really trying to make an impact with our part-time coaches and consultants, and on a bigger scale with our one-on-one roster where we work with full-time entrepreneurs who are seven-figure minded as opposed to six-figure minded, right? And so, one of the things that I will be real quick to tell you is that I don't work hard. I think my working hard days are behind me. I am very intentional. I look to make an impact. And so I don't really buy into that booked and busy or hustle hard, or what is it? The uh, success. Like I don't buy into that sleeping in your car, working 17 hours a day. I don't buy into the hustle culture. I know in my corporate career I really over rotated on that, to not get a pay raise or a promotion. Like I really overdid it there. And in my own space, I know that more does not necessarily mean more. And the point of me being an entrepreneur was to make an impact and help others, but also to have my freedom and flexibility. And my freedom and flexibility is not working 18-hour days. And so take this however you want to take it, but know that I average about 25 hours a week in work, 25, maybe 32 hours if I really have a deliverable that I need to get over the line. I don't have a long work week. I don't, burn the midnight oil. I'm not staying up all night trying to get stuff done. I am very intentional. I'm very intentional, and I'm much in a much better place health wise, mentally, physically, spiritually, because I haven't uh, perpetuated that hustle culture, right? And so take this from somebody who does not work hard. I love what I do, so it doesn't even feel like work when I'm actually working. This doesn't feel like work to me, right? So when we're kind of thinking about the to-do list, which is another thing that I just to-do list, it implies a lot of action, a lot of activity, a lot of busyness. I prefer to think of it as daily priority. So what are my priorities? How do those ladder into my bigger goal? How does that make an impact? And so I try to focus how I plan my days on priorities rather than just activities or just things that must get done, right? And there are things that you should probably do, but do they need to be done today, right? And so I like to keep my priorities list, it's not a to-do list, my daily priorities to 6 items. So there's only 6 items on my daily priority list. There's only 6 things. And some days, maybe there's 3. Or maybe I'm presenting at an event. So there's only one priority to do that event, right? And so it's not these long sweeping to-do lists where I'm flipping pages and I'm rolling a balance every day and discouraging myself by the things I don't get done. Right. So the first thing I want to suggest when you're thinking about shifting from that to-do list to a to-done list to really thinking about that priorities, setting your priorities is first shifting your thinking. First shifting from busy, 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 busy. These are all the things I got to do and they got to be done now to impact. What are the things that are impactful, right? And the impact things, that's what I think about my weekly priorities and my daily priorities, right? What is going to make an impact? And for my entrepreneurs watching, when you think about your daily priorities, at least half of them should make you money. If your day is admin heavy, you are missing out on the opportunity to grow your business, right? So first, kind of shift that thinking. It's not a to-do list. We're focused on priorities, right? Everything cannot be a priority. So if you're trying to figure out how to whittle that to-do list down to a priorities list of 6 things or less, I like to apply the 4Ds. The 4Ds. So I'll start with a longer list. It doesn't start with 6. I start with a longer list. And I ask myself, what should I do with this item? This particular bullet point on this list, what should I do with it? Do it, dump it, delay it, or delegate it, right? So the things that only I can do that are mission critical, those go on my priorities list. Things that should be delegated, I can send an email to one of my team members. I can get some support around it. If it's a dump it, that's when I really have to assess why did that even bubble up for me? And delay it, sometimes it's better to have an admin day than to cut your business development time and your client service time to get through paperwork, right? So can you delay it to like a Friday afternoon when no one's looking for you, or a Monday morning? It's awful quiet. I love doing that for admin stuff. So do it, dump it, delay it, or delegate it. And that immediately will cut that to-do list down when you really focus on the things that only you can do, that require your expertise, that require your magic, that require your special sauce. That immediately cuts that list down. And then when you think about the things that only you can do, you could probably even cut it down even further, right? Like, does it need to be done? It cannot, from the do's list, what if this needs to be delayed and or shifted to another day, right? Do it, dump it, delay it, delegate it, right? And then finally, by just shortening that to-do list, really focusing in on your priorities. So shifting that thinking from busy, 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 I got to get all these things done, I need to have a 3-page to-do list, to what are my priorities today, applying those 4Ds to really get that to a tight place. Then I would say enjoy the satisfaction. Enjoy the satisfaction. I think part of the reason the to-do list is so daunting is that it immediately sets you up to feel inadequate. When you have a very long to-do list and your day gets off the rails, or you don't get everything crossed off of your to-do list, that's uh can make you feel less than, and you can start this self-sabotage spiral, right? Or you can start this negative spiral about you always do this, right? Like you can start a whole kick off an entire internal dialogue about what you're not doing as opposed to celebrating what you've done. And so like there is a certain level of satisfaction by crossing things off that priorities list, right? That give you that instant sense of accomplishment. And the thing is, if you knock out those six things, no one is saying take the rest of the day off. There's always something else you could do, but you got your top priorities out of the way, right? And so like, I always think there's always something on the bench. there, there's there's always a second string of activity that I could do, right? And as an entrepreneur, it's never done. There's always something else I can do. But getting through that six, or even if I get through three of my six, there's a sense of satisfaction that I made progress. I can see forward momentum when I have gotten half of the list done, as opposed to one or two items out of a 30 item list. Right. So enjoy that sense of satisfaction. Right. That there's something to be said. I shared a picture earlier in our community of my to-do list today. And like one of the priorities was for me to go get my nails done. I know that has nothing to do with work, but it has to do with my confidence. I love like nice fingernails. That's a priority for me. I like to have my fancy fingernails. And so I have to make time for that. And if I don't put it on my priorities list, it's a form of self care. It's a form of entertainment. I have the most supportive nail lady. She always has something positive to say to me. She told me she was proud of me today. I almost cried at the nail salon. That's a priority for me. So I have to make space for it because it makes me feel good. It makes me feel confident. It makes I'm really cognizant that I have very big hands. I can palm a lady's basketball. So I'm very conscientious of my hands. So it's a big deal for me. So that was on my priorities list today. No judgies, no judgies. And so, but I take great satisfaction with seeing what I've been able to accomplish today. I got all my deliverables done. I have a few more things to do before we go into live coaching today, our live coaching call. I'm prepared for it. Right, so I have a deep satisfaction with crossing things off and seeing progress, as opposed to when it's a 30 to 40 item to do list or even 10 items. It's harder to see that progress. So shift your thinking, that we want to shift away from that busyness, that hustle culture of doing more, being on that hamster wheel, to really focusing on impact. So what are those priorities that are going to make an impact, whether you're an entrepreneur that's going to drive revenue in your business, whether you have a big personal goal that you're marching towards by the end of the year. How do you make that impact? So shifting that thinking so you're making that impact. Applying the 4Ds. So if you're looking at a longer list and you need to whittle it down, do it, dump it, delay it, or delegate it. And those things that you need to do they need to be done right now? So you can almost do another round. And then, of course, enjoy the satisfaction. I always feel a sense of accomplishment when I get through my six priorities for the day. And, if I only had one priority and I knock that out, I feel good. And that inspires me to take more action, right? Or I can call it a day and feel like I have done something that moves me one step closer to my goal. So, of course, like I said, I've been doing this, using this methodology for like a decade or so. So my team has actually put together a template We put together a template. So if you want to get your hands on this daily planner that we put together for you, you can reach out to Lucille, or you can go jump the line and go right to successfully.com/homework and download the PDF file. I like to send it to Kinko's and get a stack made, and so I kind of have like a 90-day packet of these made, and I've used it for years, and I definitely feel that I don't I don't feel overwhelmed. I don't feel inadequate at the end of the day. Um, and it's a really helpful tool. I also like to do it at the end of the day. So that signals to my brain that I'm done working for the day. And so I can start the power off process, but also I'm not waking up in the middle of the night thinking about things that I didn't get to, because it's already documented there. So reach out to get your copy. Again, you go to successfully.com/homework to download it. And of course, I cannot leave this live stream without making a special invitation. And that invitation is, if you want this to be the best year yet, if you want to use these last 3.5 months to finish the year strong and carry that momentum into next year, I want to extend the invitation to book a strategy session with me. And you can grab that time at successfully.com/call, or you can reach out to Lucille in our community, who will get you on my calendar. I'd love to spend time with you to really help you map out, get to know a little bit more about you, your business, and help you come up with a pathway forward so you can finish strong. So once again, I am Keita Williams, founder and chief strategist of Success Bully. Let's get after it.